Thank you very much for your time as always. Team news ahead of the game?
What is team news? Yeah, all from last game should be available. Yeah.
And I guess having thrashed Wycombe 7-2, everyone who played in the last game wants to play again.
Yeah, of course. But it's the classic one, I would say. Let me think. Let's share. No, it doesn't work. No problem. We played a very good game. 7-2 is a big win. But the next thing is how can we make sure that we get massive focus on this game, which is another difficult game. We know Bristol lost 1-0 to Derby. Dean Holden have been out in the press and said that they're ready. They want to turn things around, and we know they're a good side. They're 3 points outside the top 6, so it's another tough challenge.
You mentioned that Liverpool went to Crystal Palace, scored 7 goals, looked amazing, and then didn't score again in the Premier League for 4 more matches. How important is it against Bristol City that you start off with the same intensity that you finished the game with Wycombe?
Of course, massively important. I just stressed that today. We know we are in a good place, but all of us also know and are very aware of that. You're only, the last performance is the last game. We need to keep it up with the next good performance tomorrow against a team where I think with Dean Holden as new manager, I know he started in the summer. Done everything he can. I think he's done well in a different spell with a lot of injuries to them. Against a team we know can be a big threat with a lot of crosses, a lot of players in the box. On their day they play some tough football. So we need to think about ourselves. We need to do everything we can to make sure we are bang up there with a top performance and hopefully can continue this good performance run of form.
It'll be easy for me to concentrate on Ivan Toney because he's going for the Golden Boot and he scored 2 or 3 at the weekend, however many he actually did score in the end. But I want to talk to you about Sergi Canos. I was at the game the other week and he really, really impressed me. He's 24, he's still only 24, which is quite incredible, really. Just talk to me about how influential he is.
I think he's been growing into it after I would say a slow start to the league, but I would say a completely natural start. If you think about the big injury he had last year, that always takes time. So we invested a lot of trust and minutes in him. Of course, hoped to hit the ground a little bit quicker. We always hope for that. But it was natural. Then he had a couple of games on the bench, just get that little breather, and after that, I think he more or less hit the ground running, and with some top performance. Of course, the Cardiff is the standout performance, but a lot of other games where we got these 5, 6, 7 good actions, good offensive actions that you need from your top offensive players in each game. And against Wycombe, I think he looked top. So he's vital for us going forward.
Do you think sometimes someone like him goes under the radar? Everyone knows about Ivan Toney. Everyone goes, right, you've got to stop Ivan Toney if you're going to beat Brentford. A bit like last year with Benrahma, allowed, in a sense, Watkins and certainly Mbeumo to go under the radar. Do you think the same is happening this year with Sergi Canos?
I would say more this year compared to last year. I think everyone knew from the beginning that Bryan Mbeumo was a big threat because of the season he had last year. Quickly, everyone knew that Ivan Toney was a big threat. And then because Sergi was out for a year and didn't start that fast, I still don't think that people are aware how good a player he is. And I think it was a good comparison. I told him when we talked about it in the 0-0 game against Wycombe. He was did he play? He did play and he started, but he was bad and he knew that. Because normally players are very harsh on themselves, including Sergi. And we spoke about that before the game. Come on, Sergi, you show who you are and what you perform, and everyone know who he is after the Wycombe game we just played. So he's in a completely different place, and I'm looking forward to see him play tomorrow.
Two more from me. First of all, on your team, other teams are having a bit of a wobble. Not so much Norwich at the top, but Watford having a bit of a wobble. Bournemouth are having a bit of a wobble. Is this your opportunity now in the next month to make sure your form is absolutely rock solid and you don't have to go through the playoffs again?
I don't know. I just know we've done fantastic the last 18 games. Been very, very consistent in what we've been doing. And I have one aim, that is to maximize everything before the game tomorrow and put a top performance out there, physically, mentally, technically, tactically, and prepare my team for that. And do everything we can to get 3 points. After we got that, I will probably speak to you, Ian, and then we will cover well Thursday, train fine, short Friday, and then we go to Middlesbrough and do everything we can. So for me, I don't know. Honestly, I only look to the next game, because it's important in Championship in general, but it's even more important this year.
So last question then. You were pretty much perfect last season, bar the last couple of games of the season. What are you doing differently now at this stage of the season to what you did last season? You're on this amazing unbeaten run. What, if anything, have you learned that you're doing differently now than what you did this time last year?
I think that we are 1 year more experienced as a club, as a group, staff, players, everyone. So we're not doing too much different compared to last year, if I must say. Always small, tweaks and twists in terms of the tactical bits. I think our culture has just been a bit better. I think our understanding, and especially a lot of the players is 1 year older and 1 year more experienced. For example, Rico is 1 year better. It was his first full season in Championship last season. He's only getting better, 23 years old. Brian Mbeumo, even though he had a top season last year, gave this example before. He's just losing less balls this year. Just a Silva, just 1 year older and better, and just a few more better decisions, defend a bit better. Exactly the same with Matthias Jensen. Even Ethan is a better player this season than last season because he did well, but just less mistakes. David Raya even better this season. So a lot of players just improved, and I can name all of them, but Pontus and Henrik just grow into better leaders and better can help the team. And then I think margins. We lost 9 games 1-0 last year. 9 games, excuse my language, 1-0, and 2 of them, we maybe should have lost the rest. We 100% should have. I think should have won them. You look at stats, the game back, and maybe a few of them draw. That's the difference.
Brilliant stuff. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hey Thomas.
Hi Phil. All good?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Good to see you. Winston Reid, what does he bring to the squad?
Three words I wanna put him in. Big quality, big personality, and big experience, and that's exactly what we need. On top of that, it is in an area where we are very low on numbers this moment in time. I think Matt Beck and Ethan have been performing so well. I think they've been among 2 of best performing players this season, and I think among some of the best centre backs in the division. And then of course Pontus, but now he's been out for a while, and we know he's out for a bit more. So Pontus is out. Charlie is unavailable, and Lucas is out. That means we have 2 centre backs, and with that amount of games, we're just 1 minor injury, 1 knock, 1 suspension, 1 COVID situation away from having 1 centre back. And I know Henrik can do it in there, but he prefers to play out there on the right back, and I prefer that too.
And you mentioned sort of experience and leadership, because when you lose a Pontus Jansson, not only do you use the player, but you also lose that experience. You lose that leadership, and I suppose Winston brings that into the squad as well.
Massively, and he understands the role, and he just have one aim, that is coming in to help us and improve us, and he's ready when needed, and he's been training with us twice now, and he's just stepped in and showed the three words I just said: quality, personality, and experience, and communication in there, and he will be a massive help for us.
And obviously he's not played sort of competitive games since early December, but you've seen him on the training ground. Does he look fit? Does he look ready? Is he fired up?
Yeah, exactly. He looks fit, ready. Of course, maybe a few more weeks to be top, but with his experience, he could play tomorrow, 90 minutes if needed.
Quick question about obviously quick turnaround in games. So Wickham at the weekend, Bristol City tomorrow, and then, as you say, a trip to Middlesbrough. How important, looking at it now with what's to come with the schedule, were those League Cup games and a couple of games in the FA Cup for some of the players that you're going to have to use in your squad to get game time and really testing game time as the season goes on? Were those games, do you think, maybe prove valuable in the run-in, that those game time that some of your players got?
Massive. I think we all know that it's a long season, and in a long season, especially in a season like this, we're going to need everyone. Some are going to play 10 minutes in the 46 games we are playing. Some are going to play more or less 46 games. Some are going to play 10 games. So they just need to be ready, and the squad are so good, they're so hungry, they're just ready to step in when needed, and that's a big strength because we need that.
And this is a tremendous unbeaten run at the moment in the league, and also home form. It's been quite interesting this year because quite a lot of teams' home form hasn't necessarily been as strong as in previous seasons, but it's a new stadium which sometimes poses problems. It's been a difficult year for teams to generate sort of home energy, but actually both of those things your squad and you have coped with. What's been the secret?
Good question. I don't know if there's as we know, where there are no fans, of course, I think definitely that home advantage has been minimized, as we also can see for a lot of teams. I think it's the same for us, but I just think that we are in a place where we have a team that are so full of desire and ambition and hunger for each game, and yes, we prefer to play at home. We always want that our own stadium and that. But no matter where we are playing, we are ready and up for it, because yeah, we have a point to prove.
And Bristol City, I suppose if I look at the league table, that it's quite an important game for them. They're a good side, and it's an important game to make sure that they are still within the mix. I would suggest, really. So they're dangerous opponents tomorrow. They know that they put themselves back in the shake-up top six with a win.
Yeah, definitely. We the biggest respect for them. As I said before, I think Dean Holden have stepped in his first managerial role. I know he had a short spell before, but a real one, if that makes sense, and done very well under difficult circumstances and hit by a lot of injuries to his startings. 11, I think they hit the ground running in the beginning of the season. So big credit to him and his coaching staff. We know they're extremely good to produce crosses. We know they're big danger in the box, and I think they have indeed Joe and Wells, two very good strikers up front. So it's another difficult task, another different task. Swansea, Wickham, Bristol. But I think one of our strengths this season has been that we, no matter what we faced, we've been up forward and we come up with a solution. Hopefully we have that for tomorrow. I can promise we'll put a team out there that show a big togetherness, a lot of hard work, that attitude where we are confident but humble, because we know we're playing against a big team, and hopefully can put a top performance out there.
And just finally, in regards to that, as you say, there are so many different challenges and different ways of playing that sides have in this championship. How much of that ability to be able to cope with that from your side's point of you is the strong culture that you've put together, the confidence you have in the group that you can go out there and solve problems and get wins and get results against teams that play in all sorts of different ways.
I think it's definitely because confidence will always grow. The more we handle different tasks and different oppositions, that just give us a bit more. And then of course we try to reinforce it, talking about it, video and the feeling the players have. So that's good. But is that a 24-hour rule? We can be very excited for 24 hours, then we need to have maximum focus again because they're coming so quick, the games.